Good morning. I am Mrs. Bouchard. We are here at Gayton Elementary School in my 3rd grade class. Today we are going to be working on a social emotional learning lesson with these kiddos. All right, how are we doing, friends? Good. I know earlier you did your daily check-in. I can see we're kind of all over the place today. So maybe after this lesson, we'll be able to move our sticky notes and we'll see if we're feeling any better this morning. Sound good? All right, yesterday we read a book called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? And it's written by Carol McLeod. Yesterday we talked about bucket fillers and bucket dippers. What in the world is a bucket dipper? Peter, what is a bucket dipper?
A bucket dipper is someone who does mean stuff.
Things that maybe aren't so nice. What? Yeah, not as kind. So today, disrespectful. Instead of using our symbol of a bucket, we are going to, as a class, talk about how we can have a classroom tower. Okay? So our classroom tower is right here, and it's made with what? What is it built with, Nolan? You, but what are those symbols? What is the actual item?
Blocks.
They're blocks, right? So give me a thumbs up if you've maybe played the game Jenga before. Okay, so we all kind of might know how this works. So our book talked about being a bucket filler and also a bucket dipper. Right now we're gonna focus on the bucket dippers. Ooh, not the best thing, right? So bucket dippers are, like Peter said, not choosing the best way to act, right? So if we're being a bucket dipper, who could maybe give me an example of maybe someone has dipped in your bucket before? Reed? Oh, being a bully. I think that deserves 2 bucket dippers. And let's see what happens if we take those 2 bucket dippers out of our tower. What do you notice is being created, Jules? There's holes in our tower. Uh-oh. And this is our classroom, right? This tower represents our classroom. Okay? So let's see what happens if there are more bucket dippers in our tower. Tanisha, can you give me another example of someone being a bucket dipper?
Someone talking while you're teaching.
Oh, someone talking while I'm teaching. Would that fill my bucket or dip into my bucket? That would not be a very nice thing to do. Hayden, can you give me another example?
Like when people are taking tests and you're done and you're just like tapping.
Okay, maybe sometimes when we do independent work and you're being disruptive when you're finished. Let's see, there we go. What do you notice? What's happening, Danny, to our tower?
It's getting more holes.
It has more holes. I want you to turn to an elbow partner next to you. I want you to predict, remember we do this a lot when we're reading, what would happen if we keep having holes in our tower? What's gonna happen? Turn and tell someone next to you. What do you think, Quinn? You think it's gonna fall? Bradley, do you have the same prediction or a different prediction? You have the same prediction? All right, if you can hear me, touch your head. If you can hear me, touch your shoulders. If you can hear me, touch your hips. Now put your hands on your lap and zip your lips. All right. Nolan, I saw your hand go up. What was your prediction that you talked about with your elbow buddy?
The tower is going to fall.
You think the tower's going to fall. Give me a thumbs up if you agree with Nolan. Okay, I see lots of thumbs up. All right, let's go through, and I'm going to make some bucket dipper holes in our tower, in our classroom tower. Someone keeps asking to go to the bathroom while we're learning a lesson. Oh, that's kind of disruptive. How about you are throwing your snack food in the classroom? Oh, goodness. That would create a big old what? Mess. We don't need that. You keep turning and whispering to a buddy while we're learning. You tell someone that they aren't doing a good job. Uh-oh. What else? What could be another example, Shireen?
If you're sharing something to someone and then they are talking to someone else while you're talking.
Okay, they're interrupting. What was that book that we read before that gave us an example of interrupting? What do you think, Carlo?
My mouth is a
A volcano. When your mouth is a volcano, what's a volcano do? It erupts and we interrupt, right? We don't want to do that when other people are talking. That would be a bucket dipper. What if you make a mean face at someone? You're not even using your words, but you're using your facial expressions in your body. Is that a bucket filler or a bucket dipper?
Bucket dipper.
Bucket dipper. Let's see. All right, so we have lots of things that can be bucket dippers. What's happening to our tower? Oh my goodness. What happened? It fell.
A lot of people stayed up.
There's some people here. I love that Peter said this represents our classroom. Some people here stayed kind of in the tower. Is it very secure? No. So these people, what do they represent? Do they represent a bucket filler or a bucket dipper?
A bucket filler.
Okay, they represent a bucket filler, but what about all these here that we had created holes in our tower and fell? What happened, Mina? What are they?
They are bucket dippers.
They're bucket dippers. Do you think the bucket fillers or the bucket dippers made more of an impact on our classroom tower? What do you think?
The bucket dippers.
Why?
Because they're doing more bad things and they cause the other class, the students to fall down.
Right. So instead of just me, Mrs. Bouchard, having to build this tower back up, what would be the best thing for us to do? What would be the best thing, Reed?
For everyone to do it.
For everybody to do it. How could we all build the tower back up, Tanisha?
We could show kindness to everyone.
We could show kindness. Instead of being a bucket dipper, we could be a bucket filler. So we are going to practice that today. When I go over directions, you are going to head back to your seat in just a minute. You are each going to get your own real bucket. Okay, our bucket is really in our heart, right? But we're going to represent, and you're going to have your own bucket today. You are also going to get a Ziploc baggie that has a couple of names of your friends in your classroom. Without telling them that you have their name, you are going to write a bucket filling message on their little strip of paper. Once you're done with, you may have 3 or 4 in your bag. Once you're done with those, you are going to fold them up and you are going to place them in that friend's bucket that will be at their table. Yes, Nalan? No, it's going to be anonymous. What does that word mean, anonymous? What does that word mean?
Anonymous is kind of hard to explain, but it basically means if you send a message and people don't know who sent it.
Yeah, you don't really want to know who sent it. But then by the end, your own bucket will have a lot of different messages from your classmates that you can take home. And when you're maybe feeling not so great, you can reread those messages and your bucket will then hopefully be filled again, right? All right, put your bucket in the corner of your table space. All right, everybody should have a pencil in their hand. Okay. All right, this is in number order. So I'm gonna try to pass these out really quick. You have a baggie. There, this one is Reed's, okay? There are strips of paper. It has your friend's name on it. And then you have space to write a little message. Now, what are some things that we could maybe write or say? What would help fill someone's bucket?
You are kind.
You are kind. What else? You could even make them for that person. If you're trying to fill my bucket, what could someone say? What could you say, Quinn?
You're a great teacher.
You're a great teacher. Is that more of a personal message for me? Yeah, can you make a more personal message for someone in your class that's not just, you're nice, you're pretty, right? So we want to be, making messages and writing messages that are specifically for that person. Once you get your bag, you can go ahead and start writing your messages. And then when you are ready, you're gonna fold them up, maybe in half or in thirds, and you are going to go place them in, your friend's bucket. Make sure you're placing the correct one in the correct bucket, right? Gayton. Here, there you are. And Will. And then I love that. Can you go ahead and write that down? Go gently place them. Make sure, maybe you want to. Which one are you going to deliver next? You almost done too, Hannah? Awesome. What did we find out yesterday that maybe filled Tanisha and Mina's buckets? They won a writing competition. What about Andrew earlier in the week? What might have filled his bucket?
He went to the spelling bee.
He was our representative for our class spelling bee. Yes, sir?
Are we allowed to use 2 sides?
Yeah, if you run out of space, you can flip it over. I know they're kind of skinny, but you guys can write neatly and small. So all of the ones in your bucket should have whose name on them?
Ours.
Your own, right? So I think we just have a couple of friends finishing up. I want you to pick one out of your bucket and read it. Just one. Oh. All right, Andrew, can you be on your feet? Thank you. Deacon, just have a seat. You can fill it in later. All right. Shh. Who would be willing to share one of their messages that was left in their bucket? Jules, can you read it nice and loud for us?
It says, Jules, you're so funny.
Oh, do we think that Jules is funny? Yeah. Did that fill your bucket? Oh, we have another friend. Harlow, what did someone from your bucket write to you?
You make the day an awesome day.
Oh, you make the day an awesome day. I love that message. How does that make you feel, Harlow? Good. It makes you feel good inside. Reed, do you want to read yours? We like how you include people. Do you feel included by Reed? Yes, he's an awesome friend to have in our classroom. Let's do one more. Go ahead, Danny.
They said I'm a great gaga ball player.
Oh, a great gaga ball player. Who likes to play gaga ball at recess with Danny? Awesome. Well, I hope that you have gotten your bucket filled today. And also, not only did you get your bucket filled, what did you do? What did you? You filled other people's buckets, right? So, even if we are not writing things down and filling people's buckets all the time, like their individual bucket, we can have nice gestures. We can say kind words. We can show with our actions that we are bucket what? Fillers. In our classroom, for our classroom tower that we saw earlier, instead of creating what in our tower? Holes. What can we do with them instead? What can we do, Andrew?
You can simply just not make any holes at all and then just get the classroom running smoothly.
Yeah, let's make a classroom family and keep those holes filled in. And if we do make a mistake and accidentally make a hole in our tower, we just what?
Build it back.
Try again and rebuild. And we're all gonna help each other to do that, right? All right. This is Mrs. Bouchard at Gayton Elementary School. I just wanted to say thank you for coming and watching our lesson on bucket filling and bucket dipping. We are all bucket fillers here, and go Gators!